Now, I think we can all agree that the events of 2021 that saw Lionel Messi move from Barcelona to PSG was some of the weirdest scenes we've seen in recent memory. Because Lionel Messi has always been a Barcelona man. He's quite literally always been a Barcelona player, and we were used to his mesmerizing performances and mazy runs in Spanish football and Spanish football alone. Well, according to top football journalist Fabrizio Romano, we might be about to see those scenes once again, as Lionel Messi has been linked with a move back to Barcelona. Will PSG even accept Barcelona's offer of an old NTL TV remote and a Tesco club card?
I ain't got that sort of money.
I'm not paying 13 quid.
But the most important question of all, will Lionel Messi end up back at Barca? The last 2 years of football have actually been ridiculous when you think about it. And I feel like this storyline would top it all off. Lionel Messi making an EastEnders-esque comeback to La Liga just so he can batter Elche again for one last dance. This is football heritage. Now, I want to preface all of this by saying that no official bid or anything like that has been made by Barcelona for Lionel. Of course, his contract expires again at the end of the season, so they'll be able to grab him when his contract expires if he decides he wants to leave PSG. But there are murmurings, there are talks that Barcelona are going to try and make this happen and bring the GOAT home. I knew Pedri could actually see something through those glasses of his. The reality is here, Lionel Messi is fed up of being managed by someone that he's playing alongside, and to me, that's fine. That's just a crazy power imbalance. How am I getting transfer listed for not passing you the ball, bro? It can't run, I'm sorry. That whole club is being run like a top-heavy fraction. He has to get himself out of there. And one thing he would be is eternally loved at Barcelona if he went back. I mean, just think of the presentation, bro. They'd have to open a new camp just to allow all the fans in to see him. Xavi, Barca's manager, is his former teammate, for God's sake. He's gonna want him back there pronto, and he is willing to do anything for Leo during negotiations to make that happen. Yeah. I guess he learnt from Carlos Puyol. He'll score the winning goal in El Clasico. Xavi's on the turf as a pitch invader, getting a signature from this guy. Either that or being at the same club as Sergio Ramos for longer than like 6 months has finally taken its toll in training. But I just think this would be such a ridiculous thing to happen, almost. Them potentially getting Lionel Messi back would genuinely be a crazy development for world football. And it would be a crazy development for that changing room as well. Memphis Depay is going to be sulking in the corner, realising he's getting even less game time than he was before.
Messi's alright. He's basic though. I'm better than Messi.
Leo is ripping that number 10 shirt off Ansu Fati's back with immediate effect. And imagine poor little Ibar seeing this guy return to the league. They're going to be terrified seeing this guy back in La Liga. But the reality is, you know, and Lionel Messi is all too aware, given this is basically the reason he had to leave in the first place, Barcelona is not the same Barca that he was used to for a long period of his time there. This is a Barcelona with some interesting footballing capabilities in comparison to the prime days. You know, he's going to walk into training and see Marcos Alonso kicking it in rondos.
You do seriously surprise me.
Thank you, Chef. I was hoping you'd see that. I mean, I'd give it all I got.
You surprise me to how shit you are.
But more importantly than that, this is a completely financially unstable Barcelona. You know, I mentioned their downfall, but not getting to the knockout stages of the Champions League would be pretty much catastrophic for this club. From a finances perspective, these lot are very much in the mud and are so reliant on the amount of money that they earn from the Champions League. Going out in the group stages and dropping down into the Europa League, which is very, very likely, given they need Czech side Victoria Plzen to be Inter in the next game week. This is going to make any sort of potential deal here for Leo even more difficult. I mean, realistically, what deal can they even put on the table that PSG are going to listen to? What wages can they offer this man?
How much is this?
149, sir.
I've got 50p. Fuck you, bastard.
Here's Joan Laporta expensing Lionel Messi's wages as Ousmane Dembele's medical bills on his self-assessment. These lot are gonna get 6.9 trillion in tax. Just from signing Lionel Messi, I guarantee you. They've literally sold so much of their TV rights already. These lot are gonna be playing live on Al Jazeera. They're not getting any Sky deals anymore. Gavi's gonna have to quickly distract Leo here, whilst Barca's management quickly cross out the wage they agreed on and write £3.50 on it instead. I mentioned mentioned Memphis Depay. Maybe they can get him out on the streets busking to try and raise some funds for all of this. And also, if you're some of the other players, like, what are you thinking? Seeing how much Barca are struggling and then seeing Leo come through the door from a financial perspective. Frankie de Jong's gonna be fuming, seeing that he's been paid 6% of his annual wages in November, yet Lionel Messi's coming in on 3.3 million a week. And look, Barca have got to be careful with this one, right? Because they might want to offer a lifeline to Lionel Messi, you know, at a twilight point of his career, but Cristiano Ronaldo wants to get out of United, so don't give him any sort of false hope. Because if not, soon Barcelona are going to be getting some serious calls from Rum's representatives. And I can't lie, his heat map does not back up him signing for the Catalan side. I mean, to be fair, they'll all be in the Europa League anyway. You'll have Ron on one side playing for AEK Larnaca and Lionel playing for Barca at kickoff. We've spoken about financial ramifications here for Barcelona, but what about from a footballing perspective? Let's say, hypothetically, they did end up signing Lionel Messi, alright? They found an extra billion behind the sofa again. They definitely didn't involve themselves in any tax fraud. What then for Barca? Because let's be totally honest, this is not the Lionel Messi of, say, 6 years ago, like 2012, for example, which I know is not 6 years ago, just allow me. But Leo has been putting in some good numbers in, yes, not the strongest of French top divisions, but he's still, you know, he's proven himself that he's still capable at the top level and doing a decent job in the Champions League for PSG too. So you're still getting a very good Lionel Messi. He's going to improve the side. I think that's a given. And, you know, you'd end up with a front three of, I guess, Ousmane Dembele, Robert Lewandowski, and Lionel Messi. Whilst it's aging, other than Dembele or I guess Ansu Fati on one side, it's still a bit scary, and it's going to help bridge the gap to Real Madrid. Because I think that's one thing for me, like, Barca have got to be, obviously, apart from looking at their bank account, looking at Real Madrid and going, look, you know, they've just lost the El Clasico as I'm recording this video. It's not worlds apart, but Real Madrid are so set up. Like, they've got a great squad now that is just stronger than Barcelona's, let's be totally honest. But they're also working to sort of recycle and try and make sure that they've got almost generations of players, if you will. Obviously, they've lost Casemiro, and Kroos and Modric are both aging, but they've now got Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde. That will be the best midfield three in the world in like 5 years from now. Fede Valverde is actually an animal, and they signed him for like £3 million from some team in Uruguay. Like, they're so well run, and they've got so many players that are just gonna fill gaps as soon as others retire or move on or aren't good enough anymore. Whereas Barcelona, whilst they've got some really good young talent as well, in fairness, like Ansu Fati, Pedri, Gavi as well, Ronald Araujo, that Balde, Alejandro Balde as well, the fullback. They have got good youngsters, don't get it twisted. They just don't seem as organised. And what does it mean for PSG? Well, I mean, it's one of those where if they still don't win the Champions League, what was even the point? You know, I know they've sold some shirts, and I know it's been great to see Lionel Messi in a different shirt and at a different club, and it's been quite surreal. They've probably gained a lot of fans, in fairness, from it as well. But in terms of from a footballing perspective, they've just continued to win Ligue 1. So the reality is they could actually play a dish from Uber Eats at left wing, and it would still do a good job. Leo could come back to Ligue 1, age 74, and do a job. And then there's the matter of if it's a wise thing to do. We all kind of want to see this maybe fairy tale goodbye, one last dance, do you know what I mean? But should Barcelona actually be doing it? Because let's be honest, the amount that they're going to have to pay, they couldn't afford to do it before, so why do they think they can afford to do it now? They need to, if anything, try and actually become sustainable, I would say, as a club. I mentioned someone like a Valverde. I know it's hard to find these world-class players and buy them for like £3 million, but clubs like RB Leipzig and, you know, some of these other clubs that have got really, really good recruitment manage to do it on a really regular basis, and like your Monacos and stuff. I feel like Barca have been so obsessed with bringing in big players on loads of money, and that's obviously the reason they're in this situation. And they've been doing it. They've got better with the likes of, you know, your Araujos and stuff, who again has kind of just come out of nowhere from Uruguay. I think going for Lionel Messi in the financial predicament they're in right now would be one of the least wise things they can do. And if I'm honest, it's probably Joan Laporta playing popularity politics, because as the president of Barcelona, if he comes out in the media and goes, I want to sign Lionel Messi, all the Barcelona fans are going to go, you know what, we rate you because we want him back as well. So if it happens, then he's a god. But then if he doesn't come back, it portrays Leo as the villain because he didn't want to go back and take a pay cut. But what do you think of this whole situation? Will Lionel Messi end up back at Barcelona, or will he end his days playing in France at PSG, or will he go somewhere else? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.